Okay.
No, I think it's interesting. I am excited about...
Under duress, here's Kenny team. So what we asked you to do was, I appreciate there's some injuries going into these two games, but just with a view to Mick kicking off this campaign, let's assume for a second everybody is fit, which I know won't always be the case. Everybody's fit. What would Kenny's team be? Now, people who are streaming on Facebook and YouTube can now see your team, but people listening on the radio...
Oh, right, you want me to give it?
See a thing. So just for the radio audience, take us through each line. Let's leave up the team out there ended the whole way through. Take us through each line and give us your thing.
Yeah, Randolph in goal. I've set us up kind of 4-3-3, but kind of V-shaped in midfield. I'm not entirely certain how Mick will set us up. I have a feeling he might lean towards this, but because it's such an inferior opposition, he might just for the occasion, maybe 4-4-2, go a little bit more adventurous. But a back four for me, Seamus Coleman, Duffy, Kieran Clark may not be available. That's the one issue, the left side is central defensive position. You could argue, I think, 4 or 5 players there. I just maybe everybody being fit, I still lean towards Kieran Clark. Naturally, left-footed player, very comfortable taking the ball into midfield from defensive situation. I think they've looked reasonably comfortable together during the time they've spent together. So for me, Kieran Clark, just the edge.
Who's next man in? Is it John Egan? Is it someone else?
For me, Richard Keogh, Kevin Long, Darragh Lenihan for me, as impressed there. John Egan, very...
Because I saw Dan McDonald was in here on Saturday and they got him to pick his team.
Yeah.
And he had John Egan in.
Yeah. You could literally throw a blanket over, but that's what I said, 4 or 5 of those players. For me, almost a good feeling one. Just that little bit of a natural balance, left forward operating on that left side of the centre-half position. And Matt Doherty in a left back, I think he's comfortable in that position. And originally, that's where Mick introduced him into the Wolves team, and I still think he can affect the game from that position. Okay. Midfield 3, people might say, bloody hell, deja vu. But this is the midfield 3 to play against France a couple of years ago.
I can hear you.
This was it. This was the way forward. I know, but this was it. This was the way forward for us. Robbie, Jeff Hendrick playing as 2 number 8s, attack-minded players getting forward, contributing goals, assists, and James McCarthy, just that kind of counterbalance in that holding midfield position. That is still doable for me. James gets games under his belt, match fit, and I haven't given up on those two orthodox days. But what I would say, they're under huge pressure now, because we've got Conor Hourihane scoring goals at Aston Villa, Alan Brown as well, and those two really pushing hard for inclusion in those advanced positions in midfield ahead of Jeff and Robbie Brady.
Okay, so James McCarthy, Robbie Brady, Jeff Hendrick. Getting the band
people
back
might
together.
say, well, what's changed there? But like I said, I don't think we've tapped into the potential. That looks like a happy balance for me in midfield. Like real tenacious Robbie, James, very tenacious, good ball playing players. We all thought we can have the ball, hold the ball. Nobody can receive the ball in central midfield. These 3 can. Yeah. These 3 are comfortable, can do it. They can get forward and impact the game. So that's, look, in no ideal world, everybody fit. I still haven't given up on that little trio.
Yeah, look, I have Jeff Hendrick. I'm starting to wonder. I really am. It's got to happen for Jeff again soon. And there was a game recently, watched a good hour of it, and he just never wanted to get involved when there was anyone within 10 yards of him, 15 yards of him. He didn't want to get in the ball enough. He didn't want to affect the game. And you're looking at him thinking, you tick so many boxes and attributes.
Yeah, but he's been thrown around the place. We've played him as a 10 on the mark. I don't see him as a 10 playing, you know what I mean?
This was club level though.
On the half-tournament club, But for me, that's still potentially his best position. So that's the midfield 3.
Okay.
And then up 3 is an interesting one. People might think this is harsh. Shawnee McGuire, I think, strong argument for him straight down the middle. But these 2 lads are probably wild cards. Robinson and Ronan Curtis for me. As soon as I saw him play, first time I saw him play was for Derry at Dalymount Park, just a couple of weeks before he made his move to Portsmouth. And I watched him during that game and thought, this lad can play. He's got something physically imposing, could play off his left and right foot, turn a pace, played with a bit of personality. And he hasn't played much in an Ireland jersey, but a couple of times he's played, Joe, I've thought, this lad can really step up.
Sorry, how's James McLean not in your Irish
this is what I'm saying. A lot of people be saying, Ronan Curtis, what are you talking about? He's only played a couple of cameos, got to be James McLean. But I think this lad, Ronan Curtis, could be a surprise. But I have no problem with James McLean down that left-hand side. And I have absolutely no problem with Sean Maguire. But Robinson, for me, in an Ireland team in the last year, which has been really struggling, devoid of confidence,
he's been
not
good.
Creating, he's really impressed. And he's versatile. Robinson can operate off either flank, so even play as a 10 if you want to play a different formation. I think potentially them two could very quickly establish themselves in the starting 11.
I went to see Preston, it was like a stag party thing, during the season, and he was playing left of a 3, and he was the best player on the pitch. He was really, genuinely, he was really good. He could do a job there as well. And a 4-3-3 was up top left. But I just still don't think you can have an Ireland 11 without James McClean. I really don't.
Could easily, well, I can't say you could easily have an Ireland 11 with James McClean, but I can't. I've seen these players play, and although James has proved himself over a longer period of time, he's done it. He's been there, got the jersey section. These people haven't.
He's generally our top goal scorer.
Yeah, my gut feeling tells me these two lads are ready. From what I've seen, and they play together. Martin actually paired them together. I think it was the Northern Ireland game, the friendly game. They actually played centrally together, and they actually interacted quite well, the two of them. Physically, they couldn't be. Ronan, of course, was holding people off, strong-arming people, dropping his shoulders, and he was linking up with Robinson for the small period of time they were on the pitch. And I thought, bloody hell, no fear here with this lad. So I'll reserve judgment, but I just thought 2 wild cards to me. Callum O'Dowda, just in terms of pace, just to burn people. Predominantly a left-footed player. I know he's playing on the right, but I think those two players can flip. There's a lot of versatility now in terms of those front 3. Yeah. If you think the cross he put in for Aidan O'Brien against Poland on that right-hand side, checking onto his left, in swinging ball in, and when he received the ball and he opens his legs up, he's light. He's the quickest thing we have in the squad. Martin played him again as a number 10, back to goal. Didn't think it suited him. He looked a little bit lost. But when he plays in a wide area, and even as a number 8 in Robbie and Jeff Hendrick's position, coming from a deeper position, facing the opposition goal, he's got space to run into. He can frighten people to death. So for me, in terms of tapping into a bit of potential, Callum O'Dowda, there's actually more to come. So yeah, I could play it safe. I could throw James McClean, and that's not disrespect to James McClean, because like I said, been there and got the jersey. Could throw James McClean very easily up there, Shane Long, etc. But I think those lads, that front 3, they could really surprise, but very quickly they could establish themselves in Mick's starting 11.
Wow. It's quite exciting.
But it's great. I think it is exciting because there's great options. We're talking about Shawnee Maguire as well, Robinson playing at different positions, Ronan Curtis as well, real versatility. Carter Hourihane, Alan Brown in midfield got goals in them. Or Robbie Keane's now, where's all our goals going to come from? Well, potentially there's goals to come from Robbie Brady and Jeff Hendry. That's what I'm saying, we've got to tap into that. But if they don't, the likes of Carter Hourihane and Alan Brown are doing it. They're doing that at club level. They're scoring goals regularly. That's where the goals are going to come from. Ronan Curtis looks to me he can contribute goals. Callan Robinson as well. Matt Doherty's doing it from a wing-back position from Wolves. So,
Kenny, if anything, we've too many goals.
Well, potentially the goals are there. So I suppose that's Mick's responsibility to tap into, put a system in place which gets the best out of these players, gets them into areas of the pitch where we can tap into those abilities that they have.
Listen, my friend, you're a free thinker. You're the only man in Ireland who doesn't have James McClean in your starting 11, and you've almost convinced me. Not quite. But almost.
But this is what I'm saying. This is why I've been looking forward to the games.
Yeah.
And this is why I can't be bothered listening to people. Oh, we haven't got the talent. I'm so dejected, and I can't get enthused. Well, I can, for the reasons that I'm saying, for those players and the options that Mick has available to them. So don't start talking to me about who's not available and who's playing at what level and there's the talent here and there. I'd rather talk about the players that we have got available to us and who are desperate to play and get the jersey on their back and make a contribution going forward. And I'm really optimistic these two games and going forward. I really am. I think things can change very quickly for us in a positive way over the coming months.